What is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. Wanted to do a video, talk about a couple of things with you guys. Kind of an outlook right now. It's kind of bouncing around a little bit. It looks like you may bounce from here. Hard to say on the weekends, obviously. But my outlook that I said on Paul Barron's channel yesterday was, probably either. Well, it depends how you define pump or dump, but probably either jump up a little bit. I mean, I don't really define any. This is just sideways range bound. Like this, that's a pump. Okay. Sideways range bound pump, sideways right. That's more okay. We can count that as a dump back here, in April 7th. But sideways range bound so far. Hopefully a jump off of here, based on some of these true waves. Important thing, Pentoshi posted this. I always, agree with a lot of the things Pentoshi says, not everything, but a lot of the things. And retrace 50%. So the Bitcoin barely flinched, all it's giving back. So yeah, that's the making the point here about potentially. Bitcoin continuing to outperform alts, which is, what a lot of smart people say, Ben Cowan, for example. So you do have that. You do have that perspective. But if we're going to get a bounce, and if you follow the 4-year cycle, if you follow what we've seen, it should happen. It should happen right around, we're very close to it. So that's the big thing there. And if you look at others, kind of some of these lows from back in February, of this year, you came down. And then if you kind of, follow what we generally, this was December of 2020. We're past this now, instead of getting that jump up, we've kind of just, it's from, that was January, we've come down. Now we're trying to recover. So it's a bit different this time, obviously. It's a bit different this time. It hasn't gotten that jump up that we've been waiting for. Could it be delayed this time? And can it start, into now from the end of the year? I think if it's going to, we really want to bounce. We really want to bounce from here. So I think this is like an important point, or at least, really trying to keep this low from February. I don't think we're in a terrible place with where we are right now, but we want to, we want to get things going. We want to get things going. We want to really hold this low. This is others versus Bitcoin. Everything outside the top 10 market cap versus Bitcoin, we want to hold that low. We're above it so far. And you could argue this lower low was just kind of unexpected because of the tariffs. And you're going to confirm this, most likely going to confirm that 2-week bull div right there, 8 days to confirm. So you have some good things, going towards alts. You got some good things going towards alts right here. Now, if we look at, obviously, the thing for Bitcoin, like I mentioned, the 4-hour trigger wave. In terms of a trading perspective right now, your funding fees are still pretty good. Not too many people are longing. So, you could try something like that, 2-to-1. I can't promise you it's going to win, but 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. You only have to win if you win half your trades, you'll be plenty profitable with that. So, it's kind of a waiting game. People, they get in a little bit of red, get scared, you get it out, or have the too tight of a stop loss. You kind of want to be patient in these times. Or, you could kind of hedge the bets both ways. If you see I'm not seeing the best, like maybe on this money flow downward, you could try to go short at the same time. Which this works generally when the market's more choppy sideways. You could try to short back down, 2-to-1, 2-to-1 upward. Hopefully one of those trades works out. They both can get stopped out, but that's pretty rare when I do that strategy. Pretty rare when I do that strategy. So if you think we're going to come down or whatnot, I think you should be able to get up to that 110 mark, and then maybe there, that 110, maybe that's where we finally get, kind of a drop downward. But as I've been saying though, guys, and based on you got a green dot in the 3-week now, like I would expect a slower increase into the Bitcoin conferences at the end of the month. And by the way, if you guys want to go 10% off with you got to get the shill in there. You know what I mean? 10% off my link down below if you guys want to go. I'll be at the Bitcoin conference. It's a link in the description below if you want to get a ticket for that. But into the Bitcoin conference. Generally where we are with fear and greed, I don't have that chart up right now, but for fear and greed, you got like a month to 2 months to go, probably a month and a half. Everything points to me that you got kind of a month of bullishness to 2 months. So, something like this, more of a, delayed, more of a delayed thing, probably more like that into maybe the end of June, mid to end of June, maybe beginning of July. And then, that's 120, which would be, people would be really happy. Then you come back down for your typical summer lull, get people afraid again. And this could be obvious, maybe an obvious way to some, 14% down. It could be worse, who knows? That summer lull, red month, and then into your end of year, your September, your October, your November, then you're pretty good. So it could easily be something like this. We got time, guys. We got time here. Time is not against us yet. We do have time. A lot could happen in 6-7 months. So ultimately, yeah, And, ETH kind of trying to hit that same point right there. I would think, if Bitcoin does that, ETH should, probably 3,200 is what I'm looking at into, a much more delayed version of this and diminished returns into the end of June. That's what I'm kind of thinking. You get up to 3,200, maybe 2,900 at least. You got a good shot. We'll see if we do retrace down all the way, but I think you got a good shot. And I would think that more of the bearish things in lower time frames would be outplayed, overpowered by this trigger wave on the 3 weeks. So I do think that you got a decent shot here to keep going. I do think, yeah, trying to jump up there, money flow. I mean, it still looks pretty good. You're on the weekend though. I mean, I wouldn't be necessarily trying to, if anything here. And I still got my ETH long in from, you guys could see it here. Here are all the latest trades. Not showing you stop losses or anything, but the ETH long from back here I still have in. This is over on BYDFI. If you're interested in trading, BYDFI, BloFin down below. Both are 10% off your fees for life if you sign up with my link. If you sign up and deposit at least $100 on my link, make sure you open a support ticket in the Discord. And we'll give you one free month in the Aldo Empire VIP Discord. Really great community. A lot of all these trades that I showed you, you get in advance in there. So you just open a support ticket with your UID or your email once you do that, if you're interested. So yeah, ultimately, so if we look at that, that would be kind of the perspective on ETH. And I think that, consolidating a little bit of a pullback, but ETH versus Bitcoin, based on your 2 week, should damn be bottomed out. You got money flow finally coming up. Like it would be very surprising, very depressing and surprising if this does, even on the 3 week, you got money flow starting to bottom out, come up here. So that would be very, very annoying if we do go down lower. I think you're going to make a higher low, which is good. And I think ETH, if ETH goes up to let's say 7,300 and Bitcoin goes up to 150K, obvious points, you'd get ETH back up to about here. So 150% increase. It could go up even more. People have talked about, 10K, 11K. Not impossible. I think enough hope has been lost, but we'll see. We'll definitely have to see here to potentially get back up to these highs. So I am very excited about ETH. I will say that. A few others that I like, right now, Chainlink trying to make a higher low here. You get a little consolidation on the way up, but I think that 2 week trigger should overpower a lot of the more bearish things. I mean, nothing's going to go straight up, guys, but I think, enough looks good where you should continue forward. Enough looks good where you should continue forward up to that 23 and even more so. Cardano is another one that, people like to look at, including myself, hitting that area, coming back down, but hopefully you can get a jump, which you may pretty soon. We'll see what this week looks like. You got your little correction, your little consolidation. I think there's more gas in the tank here. I mean, you look at too, Solana, that's one perspective that I think you may see into the end of the year. Blue triangle, nice trend reversal there, upward more. Some of these in the bear market, or not really the bear market here, but 23, more of them downward. But you're due for one that's good. That's the thing too. When you have three that turned out more bearish, you're due for one that's going to bring you up. So I think you should, based on that, in all likelihood, you should come up a little bit further. And then S&P 500 too, similar thing right here. All of these in 2022 were all bearish. 2022 obviously a very bearish year, but this one was good. And historically, most of these blue triangles pretty good. 2015 more of a bad year. I mean, unless you think it's like that, then. But that one was pretty. More of them are pretty good. So I think I think generally we'll see more good news, and we'll see these markets start to fight back. That's what I really think here. I really think you got a good shot of potentially keep going here. So yeah, guys, if you're interested in the Discord, a link down below. Always appreciate you guys smashing the like button. And for those trade subs, check it out. And BYDFI, BloFin, 10% for fees for life down below. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.